Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Safety Chat. There's so much in the news of capturing footage on our cell phones, bystanders documenting things on cell phones, body cam footage, from law enforcement. But imagine if you could call 911 and the 911 operator could use your phone to actually see and hear what's going on when you're in a crisis and need help. Well, that is exactly what Carbyne 911 has done. And this is just the coolest development I've seen in 911 response and in emergency help ever, actually. So Carbyne is a company that they utilize GPS technology and individuals' actual cell phones to be able to hook up 911 centers directly to the people calling for help. I was able to speak with the founder of Carbyne 911 and learn all about it and the cool things that they can do. There are some amazing use cases, domestic violence situations, people stranded at backcountry skiing in high mountainous areas in Colorado, all kinds of situations where this technology has been able to help 911 dispatchers pinpoint exactly where the people are who need help and get them help as quickly as possible. So coming up is my interview with the founder of Carbyne, and you'll get to find out why he developed this through actually a story of himself getting robbed, what the technology can do, and hopefully find out if it's coming to a dispatch center near you. Before we get into that, go ahead and please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out any other cool, groundbreaking information like this that we come across to help make you and your community safer. Here we go.
Carbyne, I think it's not even a startup anymore. Started a company 6 years ago with a mission basically to improve emergency operation and bring them information at the time they needed the most in order to give better services for citizens. I started it after I been robbed personally. I realized that your expectations for emergency services are not even close to it actually happening, right? So you would imagine that you're calling to 911, they know everything about you, they will come immediately, no questions, etc. And it's not the case. And this is how I started Carbyne. Today, the company operating from 4 offices with headquarters in New York, which is I'm based. Giving services to more than 100 governments, 400 million people, and basically providing citizens with an essential tools when they're dialing 911 without the need to download any app. The ability to deliver advanced location, real-time videos, images, real-time chat for deaf and hard hearing community, and any additional information that can be found around them, all to a very powerful ecosystem that presents this information to the call takers, dispatchers, responders, they're ready to be able to help them make their job easier. So this is at a very, very high level what we're doing, bringing as much data as possible, as much fast as we can to both call takers, dispatchers from citizens that are calling to 911.
That's amazing. So if something happened to me on the sidewalk and I made that call like you made, someone would be able to find me with your technology.
Someone will be able to find you. Someone will be able to see actually what's going on instead of you trying to explain the situation. So we had tons of events. For example, people, not only related to police. So we had ladies that gave birth, and they was it was far away from hospital, so they call 911. Not they, like their husbands call 911. The call has been delivered to the paramedic, which basically gave instructions on the way for the ambulance to the scene. But in the meantime, what the husbands should do, etc. And we literally delivered like 6 babies in 2020.
I love that. That's awesome.
But yeah, actually, as a citizen, you don't need to do anything special. Call 911 as you used to, and all this magic is happening in the background.
Yeah, so you don't have to have an app that you've downloaded or a subscription, like citizens are not paying for it.
No.
So the technology is integrated within the 911 system, or do you work with any emergent, like home monitoring call centers? or medical alert call centers, anything like that yet?
No, we are currently working directly with 911 because those are the official first responders in charge of your safety. We do have like B2B kind of engagements for elderly, etc., but it's not our main or prime go-to-market. Our go-to-market is to provide our service to the agencies. And what's interesting in our solution is not that it's only easy for the 911s, like the citizens, is also easy to the 911 to implement it. So unlike other solutions, the only thing that they need to do is to, double click, start it as over the top on top of their existing systems, and all this information is available for them. They don't need to replace their current system. They don't need to change anything. They don't need to buy expensive hardware, nothing. Literally few minutes to deploy on top of every 911 system worldwide.
It's unbelievable in a way. Like, it sounds too easy. It makes me wonder why nobody has ever done this.
So obviously we do have, bunch of customers throughout the world, in the United States as well. And we are seeing great adoption now because of COVID and because of the fact that, in order to accelerate any process of innovation, what you need is funding. And basically governments need to have the ability to purchase something and to pay for it, etc. So Carbyne, basically, we have cloud solutions. We are deploying remotely. We don't need to be on the premises. We're bringing tremendous help. And we're seeing like a trend to adopt our solutions now faster because of the fact that governments understands that citizens have expectations, and you need to serve your cities and your community, and you need to have good solutions. And people used to FaceTime, used to send text, used to speak over IP. So why not do it when they're dialing 911? And here we are, and we are providing that service to many 911 centers in the United States and growing.
There's been problems with 911 in the United States with cell phones and with home monitoring, like security alarms and things like that, and people not knowing. So like, I'm in Las Vegas and my home is in West Virginia, and my home alarm goes off. I call in Las Vegas. I go to a Las Vegas area 911 center, which isn't going to help my home across the country, but this helps you exactly where you're at. That's the whole point.
So the 911 routing is based on your specific location.
Yeah.
You're not routing the calls, obviously. And there is now a lot of discussions around interoperability, and give you as an example the ability to contact your local 911, how you're going to do it, etc. And actually you can do it in these days, but you have to know the 9 digits or the 10-digit number. Actually, we had a very interesting case in Ohio. A daughter of someone basically was in trouble or something like that, and her mother couldn't reach her, and she was out of the state. She was not in Ohio, and basically she called the local 911. We used Carbyne solutions, to send the link to the daughter, which was in a different state. And the daughter clicked the link, and because of that fact, then found her. And actually, she was kidnapped or something by her husband.
Oh my God.
Something crazy. And this was cross-state help because of the Carbyne is, the capability that Carbyne is providing. So there is solutions. They don't just need to utilize them.
Well, that's amazing. I love that story, because this comes up again and again when we deal with home security companies, and people trying to figure out how do you deal with, being in a different state. That's very cool. It sounds like you've got a lot of success stories. So how widely deployed is Carbyne right now, I guess, throughout the world and in the United States?
So in the United States, currently we have deployments in 21 states. We have tens of agencies using our solutions, including New Orleans, all the 911, Largo Police Department, Aspen, Colorado, Starr County, like many different ESAPs. We have 95% market share in Mexico. The entire country 100% coverage in Israel, Eastern Europe, Asia Pacific. So we have deployments everywhere.
Wow, that's incredible. And I saw the video, I think it was in Aspen, where they are snowboarding and they're on the mountain, and who even knows? And people who are hardcore, they're going backcountry. They're not necessarily on a run or where they're supposed to be. And you guys were able to help find them.
Yeah, so Aspen, Colorado is Carbyne client for a pretty long time. One of the things that we are providing as part of our solution is also elevation. Okay, and especially if you're getting hurt in a ski resort, right? There is no street numbers and street names. So you're in the middle of nowhere. By dialing 911 in these specific places, the forces are getting the exact 12 numbers, and they're crossing it with the elevation, so they know exactly where you are in the mountain. And we had amazing success stories utilizing Carbyne solutions for extreme sports in general, where people are driving motorcycles, which is usually rural areas. There is no street numbers. They are getting hurt, calling 911. Without Carbyne, it took them 30 minutes to be found. At the good case, with Carbyne, literally 30 seconds, and that's it. So
that's amazing. I'm from Utah and Idaho, so we always have people lost in the woods, lost hiking, up in the mountains, and this is just amazing. I myself was stuck in the mountains in January, and I was terrified that I wasn't going to get found. It was late at night, it got dark, and GPS was what saved us, because my son was able to drop the location to the tow truck or whatever, but I didn't have any service with my company, so it's really scary. So it's really cool that this doesn't rely on me having to have the access. It's the 911 centers, the government has it. There are some ideas that the COVID relief bill might have an impact on maybe some cities being able to incorporate this type of technology. What do you think about that?
And I think that this is a bless. I think that the industry is receiving those funds to enhance their current NG 911 solutions, which is great. Carbyne have an experts working for us full time to help governments to find those grants and to allocate the resources appropriately. So we are offering that service at no cost to governments who wants to work with us. So we are helping them basically to understand the bills better, understand where the money can come from, what they need to do in order to get the funds, and etc. So it's I think it's an amazing thing, and I think it will help a lot to accelerate new technologies into this market.
I can't believe I'm just learning about this, and you're in 21 states, and wow, it's so cool. What do you think about that lady in Central Park that called on a Black man who was asking her to leash her dog because it was a leash area, and she calls the police saying that he's attacking her aggressively, and he wasn't doing that at all? Your technology in that situation, 911 could have eyes and see what was really happening before all the rigmarole. It protects everybody.
Yeah, I think that the trends that we are seeing with defunding the police transparency, all what happened after George Floyd, I think those videos came after effect, right? But think about real-time situational awareness and the George Floyd use case, right? Where actually citizens could report in real time back to the 911, and the 911's other supervisor could see in real time what's going on. He might save his life. So I think transparency and good communication between police and citizens and governments in general is essential. And I think trust is something that is crucial, especially in those days. And I think Carbyne solution can really increase trust between citizens and government agencies in general. And, if you don't have nothing to hide, you have no reason why to take it.
So it's a cloud-based solution. Can you tell me a little bit more? I'm not like a computer programmer or anything, but a little understanding about how is it working? What's happening when this technology is utilized by a 911 center?
Let's take, you said that you live in Utah. So let's say Utah have a 911 center. They want to utilize Carbyne solution. Basically what we are doing, we are connecting remotely. We are providing them with a file. They're taking it, double click, and something is open on top of their 911 solution. It looks like a plugin, called C-Light Universe. You can see it in our website. this a piece of software that sits on top of their current system. And
Okay.
basically what is happening when the calls come in, okay, Carbyne CLive Universe have the ability to recognize the number from the screen without integrations, okay, with computer vision technologies, taking the number of the caller. And then if there is a location available, we will present location immediately. And if the call taker wants to get additional information, he will send you a text. By clicking on this text, you are giving permission for the call taker to get access to your camera. And then you can share video, images, chat, voice over IP, you name it, based on a web browser that's just open in your device when you call 911. This is in a very simple way, describing the process.
Sure.
Actually happening. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that helps me understand. And I was wondering about how are people giving permission? I suppose if you're calling 911 and asking for help and clicking on a link, you're wanting that help. Privacy and hacking type issues are things that people ask me about a lot, that people are worried about. Is that something that you guys have found is an issue for what you're doing at Carbyne? And are there any, it seems pretty implicit that there's permission granted, but.
Yeah, so first of all, we're not doing anything without the permission of the user, of the caller. So if the caller said, I don't want to share my information, so don't share your information, no problem. 100% depending on the desire of, the specific person. One. Second, let's assume that you do share the information with the agency, so nothing is staying on the user device and everything is being transferred into the 911 agency and they own the information. What they're doing with it now, how they're going to handle it, etc., is really up to them.
It would be how they handle anything that comes into 911, I'd suppose. Any kind of call that's all recorded and
Exactly. It's not different from what's happening in these days.
Obviously you had your personal experience that sparked the idea or showed you the need for this, I suppose.
Yeah.
What other problems with the 911 structure do you feel like the Carbyne solution addresses?
So at the beginning, we had several use cases where governments came to us and said, we're already using your solution. Can we turn, it's called Citizens Insight, where call takers basically had the ability to collect information about people's symptoms when they're calling and reporting about COVID. And what we did is basically we collected that information and we presented in heat maps to the governments to understand how COVID is spreading, where they need to do lockdowns, etc., based on real-time situational awareness of what people are reporting about. Okay, instead of closing the entire states, I can understand, okay, just in these streets, people are reporting high fever, there is a big kind of a COVID concentration in this specific area, so let's lock down this specific few streets instead of closing the entire state, for example.
Wow.
So this was very interesting.
That's amazing. And you were just able to come up with that solution, right? Pretty quickly.
Because of the fact that it's a cloud solution, so it's we are developing the capabilities, and once we want to distribute it, we just click one button and it's pushed through the cloud to the agencies, and if they want it, they're updating their version and they have it. That's it.
And is there any way I could find out if my local 911 uses Carbyne solutions? I'm looking to move. I like this. I want it to be, safer. Is there, do I know where I'm getting this extra, bonus to my 911 service?
And not publicly. It's really up to, up to the government to decide whether or not they want to push it. And usually governments that are adopting our solution are really publicly announce, about it. So you would, you would know.
I would shout it from the rooftops if I was adding this to what I was doing to try to protect the people in my city, for sure. All right. Thank you, Amir, so much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on that interview. I'm sure you can tell that I was super blown away and just impressed and flabbergasted with what this technology can do. And ultimately, I mean, it changes the whole game. And I tell you, I know that if my 911 dispatch center had this technology, I would feel a whole heck of a lot safer, knowing that they could get to me no matter what and could actually see what was going on. So I really think this is a game changer, and we're excited to get the inside scoop and kind of the first look at really cool technology like this that is coming out to make you, your home, your neighborhood, and the whole world safer. Until next time, this is Safety Chat. Stay safe.